I'm gonna build my zoodles in this. Who needs a plate when you have a huge ladle? What is this, a quart? Hey, I'm Megan Mitchell and I'm here in the Thrive Market test kitchen, and today I'm gonna show you a low FODMAP recipe. It's turkey meatballs with zucchini noodles. If you're wondering what low FODMAP is, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you all about it, but before I get started, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you're wondering what Thrive Market is, it's an online market that sells non-GMO and organic products straight to your door. Let's get started. All right, low FODMAP. What is low FODMAP? So it's an anti-inflammatory diet. Usually people start it when they have IBS or stomach issues, or you're just feeling kind of sluggish, you have a lot of bloating, you're like, what's going on? Why do I feel so lethargic? Why do I feel so poopy? Well, maybe this diet's for you. The two biggest culprits are onions and garlic. And you'd think, well, onions and garlic aren't bad for you. Garlic, I feel like, should be good for you. They just inflame your lower intestine. It causes a lot of issues. You can go online and you can look low FODMAP items and it'll tell you everything that's okay to eat. And then there's high FODMAP items that you want to stay away from. Things like apples, asparagus, corn, not necessarily bad for you, but someone who is severely inflamed, it's terrible. So you want to stay away from those items. I'm going to show you one of my favorite recipes to make that happens to be low FODMAP and Whole30. This is going to seem confusing because I'm using green onions, but on low FODMAP, you can do chives and green onions because they're milder. But if you're super, super, super sensitive, leave it out. Leave it out. But it seems a bit daunting because onions are in everything. Stock, marinara sauce, salsa, your mom's back seat. They're everywhere. It's really hard to find items that are without onions. So always read the labels. And actually, Thrive Market has a great low FODMAP marinara sauce that they just launched, and it's without onions and garlic. So they're thinking for you. All right, let's get started on my meatballs. I have a small food processor. Into it, since I can't add onion and garlic to my actual meatball, I want to add a lot of flavor, so I'm using basil, fresh basil. Make sure you throw it all over the place or it doesn't work, you know what I mean? Parsley, green onion. Like I said, you can do chives and green onions on low FODMAP, but if you're feeling super sensitive, feeling a little emo that day, keep them out, you know what I mean? 1 egg. This just binds everything together. I'm gonna break it in a, oh man, that was to the brim. In case I get any shell, I don't want to fish around for it in there. 1 egg. And then a big pinch of salt and pepper. So you get a lot of flavor from different ingredients. You know, most recipes start with saute onion and garlic. You're like, okay, well, I can't make that. Don't get discouraged when you see recipes like that. Just change it around. Add more spices, add fresh herbs, add vinegars and lemon juice and acidity just to brighten up your dishes, because it can seem very overwhelming. Like, I can't eat anything. I can't do anything. All right, I'm gonna, oh, what's that? Extra virgin olive oil, 1 tablespoon. Okay, now blend it up. I got so excited. Okay, you just want it to be a chunky paste. I'm gonna wait on this for a second. To my bowl, I'm adding ground dark meat turkey. I'm using dark meat, it has more flavor, more fat. It just can be a little drier when you use light meat turkey. It can dry out, not as moist, not as flavorful, so go dark meat. I'm gonna add in my herb and egg mixture. Well, this is where that flavor comes from. If you're not going like, this is obviously Italian vibes, but you could make turkey meatballs. Sometimes they do cumin and curry powder and turmeric and things like that. So you can flavor your meatballs however you want. This is kind of just a base recipe, what I like to do. Cayenne pepper or chili flakes. And then almond meal. So you can't add flour, you're staying away from gluten. Almond meal, this is only 2 tablespoons. I think you can do up to 1/4 of a cup, or it can cause some rumble in your tummy. So this is only 2 tablespoons, which is low FODMAP compliant. Mix this together. Okay, this looks great. Usually I would add Parmesan cheese to this, but no dairy, so I'm gonna pop this in the fridge and let it chill for about 10 minutes. It'll make it easier to roll into balls. I'll be back. 10 minutes later, this is chilled slightly. It's just easier to handle. I have a sheet tray lined with parchment. You can put it on a plate, whatever. Small portion scoop. I think this is about a tablespoon or half a tablespoon. I like to make my meatballs on the smaller size. I find that they stay a little more tender and I get more. So I feel like I'm eating a lot. All right, meat, rip, rip. I know my sound effects are insane. So scoop, and I like to scrape against the side of the bowl. Pop in your hand, roll, and did it land? It did. Don't do that. That was just for effect. Just, you know, to get those views. All right, I'm gonna do this for the foreseeable future. It should make about 28 to 30 meatballs. And at this point, you can freeze them and keep them in your freezer, obviously, and then pop them out whenever you want a low FODMAP turkey meatball. Hi, good to see you. I have a large cast iron skillet up to heat. And this is another confusing part about low FODMAP. You can do garlic infused oil. You cannot add garlic to a stock or a soup. In liquid, nah. In oil, yeah. Thrive Market sells this brand that's garlic infused olive oil. FODMAP. Check it out if you're looking for it. All right, a couple tablespoons into the bottom, and this is, we're just gonna sear it. You just need enough to cover the bottom to sear. It's gonna add nice garlic flavor. And maybe I'll saute my zoodles in it. I don't know. Okay. Ooh, that smells good. All right, be careful. This is where it gets splattery. I'm about to be covered in oil. Meatball in. Don't overcrowd your pan because then they'll just steam. And cook a couple minutes per side until they're golden brown. Flip them and work in batches. So I have a plate over here that I can just I feel like I need to wear a bodysuit, like some sort of screen whenever I shallow fry. All of my meatballs have seared, so I'm gonna add in my first batch back in. I'm gonna add back in my first batch. I've turned my heat down to low. I'm gonna add Thrive Market's organic marinara sauce that is low FODMAP. So if you look at the ingredients, what side is it on? Where are you? Tomatoes, olive oil, carrot, celery, sea salt, basil. So there's no onions and garlic, so it's safe for your belly. Add it in, careful. You wanna turn the heat down so it doesn't spray all over you. Nobody likes that. And then I have 1/4 cup of finely chopped basil. Just adding more flavor, more basil to this recipe. Stir this and just simmer this on low for 15, 20 minutes. If it starts to splatter too much, you can put a lid half on, half off. So cook this for 15 to 20 minutes to finish cooking the meatballs. And while this simmers away, I'm gonna make my zoodles. While my meatballs simmer in the tomato sauce, I'm gonna show you how to make my zoodles, and I'm making them in a pappardelle shape. I already have some ready to go, but I'm gonna demo to show you how to do it. If you don't have a spiralizer, which not everybody does, if you don't wanna buy them in the store because you don't know how old they are, sometimes they're soggy, sometimes they're watery, sometimes they're... I'm gonna show you how to make them with just a peeler, a knife, and your brain. All right, peeler. Also, if you have a mandolin, you can do it with a mandolin as well. So take your zucchini, lie it flat, and do this until you reach the middle, and then we'll flip it over. Good amount of pressure, and just peel away. I'm gonna show you, I stack a couple of them up. Just makes it easier than going through each one to cut. Stack it, and then just slice lengthwise. And you have pappardelle noodles. All right, I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll show you how I like to cook them. Some people eat zoodles raw. I'm not in that, not in that band, not in that camp. It's not, I don't really like that. So I do a very, very hot skillet very quickly. So it gets a nice sear on the outside and cooks them, but they're not wilted and they're not watery. And I did notice with this shape, instead of doing the spiralizer, these didn't leach out as much liquid, which was weird to me. Just the way I cut them, they weren't as watery. Because I feel like people cook zoodles and they're like, why is it so watery? It's like a big watery mess and my sauce is separating. So hot skillet, quick high heat, and I don't know, maybe try cutting them this way and see if it makes a difference for you. This is about 5 to 6 medium zucchini because they wilt down. It's like greens. You start with like this much spinach, and it ends up with this much spinach. I measure things in height with my greens. But this will wilt down, so you need a lot. If you're serving, I think this serves about 4 people, so you need 5 to 6 zucchinis. Let me show you how to cook it up. My meatballs have been simmering for 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm gonna add all of the spinach. I like to add spinach to my pasta sauces, and when I make glutinous pasta, real pasta, it just makes me feel a little healthier. So you don't have to add this, but I just like to. Add some more nutrients and vitamins and minerals and goodness. So I think this is about 5 ounces. Pile it high, and then this will wilt down. Deep. Okay, while that wilts, I'm gonna show you how I cook my zoodles. I'm gonna add some of the extra virgin olive oil garlic infused from FODMAP, just about a tablespoon. You're gonna do this in batches, because if I added all of the zucchini, it would just steam and wilt. So a handful at a time, about this much. Yeah. And I don't season it at this point. I don't season it with salt and pepper. Salt will release some of the liquid, so quick saute. Don't move it around too much. Staying back so it doesn't burn you. And this should take, I don't know, 1 to 2 minutes. It's very, very quick. I want the edges to turn golden brown, and it'll turn a bright green color, and that's when you know it's ready. Just giving this a stir, helping my spinach wilt down into the sauce. I don't want to cook it for too long. That's why I'm adding it at the very end. I'm going to finish searing up my zucchinis, and then I'll show you how I like to plate it up. Let's plate this up. Meatballs, turkey meatballs, ready. Zoods, ready. Plate, ready. Okay. See how they're still bright green? They're not watery. They're not being rude. They're acting proper. Okay. I didn't season them, so now I want to season them with some salt and pepper. Grab your spoon and ladle. It's not even ladling, it's just spooning, I guess, scooping. My mouth is honestly watering looking at this, so I'm gonna try it. But I just wanted to show you, if you're doing low FODMAP, and also this is Whole30, that you can enjoy the food. It can have tons of flavor. You don't have to feel like you're left out. If you wanna have sketty and meatballs, it's just a little different take on it. I'm gonna try one of the meatballs. Mmm. Tender, light, fluffy. It's really good. It has tons of flavor. I'm not missing the onion and garlic. I'm not even missing the Parmesan cheese, which I'm kind of psyched about. So I hope you make this. I hope you give it a try. You can find all of the ingredients I used at thrivemarket.com/prep school. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and happy low FODMAP cooking. If you have questions, please hit me up. I'm here to help. Bye. Hey, I'm Megan Mitchell. Forgot where I was. Okay. Man, it's only noon. Okay.